Oh, it's going to be a great one today, Alden. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm seem to be having some not internet problems, just technology problems today. I don't know what's working or what's not. I'm here, you're here. It's Anytime with Ken Alden, Black Friday edition. Hi, friend.
Hello. How are you? But the important question is, are you working? Do you feel functional?
Yeah, I do. And let's get right to it. You and I both wore bathrobes without telling each other.
With zero communication or pre-planning. We just reached across the country. Telepathy. Yeah, it just felt like the right move. I mean, we're both definitely not at 100% energy-wise.
Yeah, but not in. I'll speak for myself. I'm not in a negative way. Some work's going to pick up for me on Monday. I got a lot of recordings going on. Skeleton Crew is so excited for that, but that increases the Force Center workload a lot. Love that. I'm relaxing today. You know my story. I never got to relax on Black Fridays, and here I am.
No. Yeah, I can't even. I mean, you've said some of the horror stories on different shows over the years, but like that just sounds like the worst. I mean, we got Jared from Nerd Academy. He's there right now. He's right there in a mall right now on Black Friday.
Man, let me pray to Lefty Jesus right now. Father, we gathered before you today to keep Jared the Dark Jedi safe from capitalism and those that would use capitalism to incite violence inside stores. May Jared also just enjoy whiskey while in the break room. All right. Thanks, Jesus.
And nomine Patre et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. I just covered you in Italy as well, Jared, because I know those are your people. The Italians they stand with you. The former security directors, they stand with you.
They stand with you. Yeah, I was telling Grace and her sister a couple weeks ago when her sister was out. One of the best fights on Black Friday was inside of Victoria's Secret at 3 a.m. And it wasn't ladies. It wasn't ladies, fellas. It was like dudes fighting over panties on sale. It was family. It was a thing. It was great. We went rushing into the Victoria's Secret. It was great.
I think that all new immigrants should have to experience Black Friday from a safe vantage point. We should be able to like Pope-mobile people through. Like, hey, did you immigrate to America this week? Come see what we really are. Like, you should have to see the truth. Yes. And then you can decide if you really want to be here. Because this is who we are fundamentally. Underneath it all, we are ravenous, gluttonous pieces of garbage.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are, man. Yeah, we are. But that's me. How are you? You speak for yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I mean, this week was long. Just working the day job, trying to stay sane. Thanksgiving is something that in my life has had like less and less importance and value over the years. So I think over the last decade, it's just diminished into nothingness. Like when I was living with my ex, I think our last one together was like sushi and then like Netflix. And that was, that's it. Yeah. And now yesterday I worked like normal. And then I got off work, took a nap. And then I just did a double feature, watched Jodie Foster's 1995 Thanksgiving movie, Home for the Holidays.
I like that film.
It's a great movie. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters, kid. Saw it in theaters.
Great movie. Well, I was born the next month after you saw that in theaters. That's like Holly Hunter and young RDJ. RDJ at the peak of his problems, but still the peak of his powers. Like you can't. He still delivers. It's amazing. Yep. And then I watched one of my favorite movies last year's Maestro, which is not a Thanksgiving movie, but has an amazing Thanksgiving scene. So that's how I justified it.
It's great, man.
I know everybody went to Planes, Trains, which I wanted to fit in there, but I was too tired, and I've seen that one enough times that I felt okay. Still having the presence of it. I was reading John Candy articles yesterday, just getting the vibe.
No, I love your choices there. You don't have to go with the norms. We watched Tombstone last night. Very important night in our relationship. I finally got Grace to watch Tombstone. She had never seen it. She was kind of tangentially aware of it via stories about Val Kilmer. and she enjoyed it, and more importantly, enjoyed the performance of Val Kilmer, which is a timeless performance. And we had a good time. It's a good time. It's a holiday film. It's got snow at the end of it. It's a holiday.
I have, and I'm sure this will come up in our December episodes in the coming weeks. I have extremely strong feelings about the what is a Christmas movie, what is not. I think that there are, like, I'm one of those people that is like very militant about the argument. Before anybody even wastes their time in the comments, yes, I'm pro Die Hard as a Christmas movie because it is.
Okay, yeah.
Like
I don't have it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say the thing for me that will come up 1,000 times is if you remove Christmas from the story, does the story change or not? Is sort of the thing, or is it enough of a motif in that filmmaker's thing, like Shane Black, like that he's got Christmas movies all over. So in Die Hard, McClane is only there because it's Christmas. So people say like, oh, but it could have been any holiday party at the company. But it's about reconnecting with his family. Like that's why he goes. So it's like that is why it's a Christmas movie. Yeah. Instead of guns and terrorists, it could have been family arguments, and it still would have played.
Yeah, I do have a theory that it's neither a Christmas movie or a family movie, that it's actually Argyle's fever dream. None of it's happening. He's just high in the back of the limo and he's imagining it all.
That's like the Ferris Bueller, like Ferris doesn't exist and
doesn't exist. Yeah.
Man of Cameron, like coming to grips.
That's funny. Love that there. No, that's yeah. My thought on the I think you have a nice thematic take on it. I could. It's not that I couldn't care less. I just for me, the Is Die Hard a Christmas movie is that thing that popped up on social media over the years and still pops up by people who are 6 years behind trends. So it's that person who sends me, hey, Ken, you're a Star Wars fan. Have you seen this Death Star fire pit? Yeah, in 2009. Like, what are you doing? And it just drives me a little crazy. It gets into my grump meter where I'm like, someone's like, what do you think? It's a Christmas movie or not? Like, I don't care. We're not having
There's a waffle iron that makes them little Death Stars.
Yes.
It's amazing. Yes. Little Vaders.
Yeah.
No, totally.
So anyways, but and quite frankly, I am a big fan of the motion picture Die Hard and Die Hard 2 and Die Hard 3. After that, I didn't watch, not for any statement, just that's when I stopped watching movies.
4 is good, 5 is not good. That's my not at all hot take. I wanted to address Eli real quick. We're pro Force Awakens as a Christmas movie. Again, we'll get into this more when we get to December. The ultimate Star Wars Christmas thing, besides the obvious holiday special, is Kenobi. Kenobi is legitimately, thematically, a Christmas story, down to the fact that a ghost from his past shows up at the end when he's rebuilt his life. Like,
I thought you were going to say it's because it is the adventure of one space wizard trying to gift a young boy a toy.
Oh, that too.
The whole thing is.
That just makes it even stronger. 100%.
Scotty says this. I watched Tombstone with my high band director last year over the summer. We got trashed on 2 bottles of wine. Look, that's living. That's living right there.
That sounds like that's a real experience right there. Okay, lots of, let's see.
Yeah, we have, by the way, we have no plan for this episode today. I don't know if we're going to get serious. I don't know if we're going to get political. I don't know if we're going to get silly. You and I just were like, we'll be both sitting around. Why not go live? Yeah. Why not release this as an audio podcast, which you can now get on the Knapsack Network podcast feed. If you want to take it with you. We're just here, man. I'm glad to hang out. My holiday with you. This is what this is about.
I know this is actually, I said this on our Blue Sky account, anytimeonair.bluesky.social, which maybe one day it'll be simpler to say than that.
We got to figure out how to get our own domain, and then it can just be like anytimeonair.me.
Yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out. But I mean, like a lot did happen this week. But what I said is this is a kickoff of the holiday season in a way. Like after this, we're in the holidays. Thanksgiving starts the holidays. Capital T, capital H.
The holidays. It is. And it's over a year for this show being in existence. So we're kind of in a celebratory month.
Just over a year.
Dig that.
Little baby, little infant show. No, for sure. I mean, earlier this week, we both ranted to each other in text about the Jack Smith stuff. So that also happened. That feels like it was forever ago.
It really does. It really does. And I got to tell you, there's a little bit of fire out of my heart over it. Let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I am tremendously disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I'm not angry. Does that make sense? Where yes, I'm angry, but also I'm just like it sends every bad message in the world. But he's going to be fired. If not, they're going to try to throw him in jail. They might try to kill him. Who knows? He might not have had any choices. I posted something about the situation of like. Even in his statement was like, it's not changing my case. It's just, what are we going to do? And it's just, Alden is just a shoulder slumper where you just kind of go, yeah, okay. Yeah, here we are.
I just felt so defeated and angry. And like you, I started to think about the things that could have influenced it. There's no way in hell do I think that he has not been threatened in some way. It's just like, it is absolute. Remember, these are the same people that like are connected to the mysterious suicide of Jeffrey Epstein, or as we know him sometimes, New York financier Jeff Epstein. But yeah, like it just feels so like the entire thing, even the dismissal mentions like, yeah, this was unprecedented and we didn't really know what to do, so we're gonna stick with precedent, do nothing. It's like it feels like, you're recording somebody, but you've got like the gun off camera. It's extremely extremely unsettling. It was a little bit like demoralizing because about where we're going.
Yes, it wasn't, and I guess my anger, disappointment. I don't want to downplay, but it's just like this is one of many results of what happened on November 5th. You know what I mean? Like this is like, Yep. Which means this is the results of many things over the last missteps or anything. Anyone you want to look at over the last 4 years, Merrick Garland, anything. And I just like, I don't have any big giant hot takes in all of it. It just my shoulders slumped and went, yep, here we are. That's where we're at. The fight is in another spot now.
It took the heat off of Morning Joe, which helped take the heat off of Tony Hinchcliffe. And I can't have that. I wanted all the heat to stay where it was supposed to be. And now all these people are capitulating one after the other. Comedians, shows, special counsels. Like, have anything.
Man, unrelated but completely related. I was finishing some coffee before we started here and watching YouTube while I play baseball on the PlayStation. It's kind of like the morning paper. I realized it's my morning paper, right? Like in the old days, you might pull out a paper, but now I'm like playing some baseball, listening to the news and clips. I watched a great George Carlin clip on from 1988 from his Jersey special. I might post it on Blue Sky. It is sadly, what is that? 40, almost 40 years.
Almost 40.
35, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You could just put it today as a new bit and it would be completely relevant. It's 8 minutes on Reagan, the Law and Order Party, and over 225 members of his administration were indicted, or put up on charges or resigned in distress. It goes into the religious right. It goes into the moral majority. It goes into abortion. And it's a classic, timeless George Carlin bit. We're not going to have a conversation about people. A lot of Carlin's words could be co-opted for a lot of different points of view and conversations, but God damn it! I just wish we had more of those voices, but the chuds are winning. The chuds are winning because think about the Hinchcliffe thing. I posted that. I still get YouTube comments on that one little reel I posted. I'm trying to do my motivation videos. I posted one on Thanksgiving that was a joke, but it was from my heart on Mega Thanksgiving, and the chuds that come out. And they all have Alden. We always go into Twitter bots and stuff on Instagram. Why is it always the chuds with private accounts?
Always
their
private.
Account is private, who jump in to reply guy because they're emotional, moral cowards, of course. But it's just that needs to be studied as well.
No, it's always a private account, and you can always count on like Christian, dad of two, like husband to like it's always some shit like that. Generic descriptors, you know.
Yep. I was just yesterday. I didn't want to engage with it. The last time out with my Hinchcliffe one, I engaged with some folks and everything. My favorite thing to do is if they follow me, whether that's some of them are like longtime Schmoes fan, I make them unfollow me. I remove them as a follower. Then I'll block. But I was just blocking yesterday. But one of the guys I almost responded to, exactly what Romans 14 in his serving Christ. Account private. And
I love the idea of account private being in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's at the end of every verse that they use account private.
and then one guy was like, but this guy's such a beta. Account private. It's like you're such a coward, you alpha, that you can't even let the world see you for who you are. Anyway, nothing new. It's just fascinating. So fascinating thinking about all this stuff in this week. And you talk about the demoralizing thing. It's like they all feel like they've got a little bit of a victory now. But like I said in a joke post I said yesterday, you didn't actually really win, folks. You think you did, and you're moving so fast you can't feel the wheels off the bus coming off. Falling feels like flying. And I do believe eventually this will crumble down. Not the big picture, because clearly, as Carlin's saying, we still have this battle, but just this era. I have hope that this is the last grasp for power that they have.
So too. I mean, like we're already, like you said, we're already seeing a lot of the wheels falling off with the Matt Gaetz thing falling apart, and now the obviously, I think. But the tariffs of my grocery. I think even they're already starting to realize.
Yes.
Like, that's it's on the comp. Oh, okay. See, I Googled tariffs, but it turns out I only binged tariffs. I didn't actually Google. I binged.
I only asked Jeeves tariffs.
Yeah, I didn't get the most accurate AI slop fucking results. So that is driving me insane. Yeah. The fact that, and I'm not original in this take. This is not some new observation, but like the fact that the AI is now placed above all results, and you have to scroll a little bit to get, and it's also blatantly wrong sometimes, because you can tell that it's pulling from any written source. So it gets like Reddit joke comments in there, or like people's arguments, and like the other day I Googled. I can't remember the two names, but I was like, has such and such ever worked with such and such? Oh, you know what it was? It was a fact that I knew, but I had to make sure that I really knew it.
Oh, yeah,
and it was, sure. Has John Williams ever composed for Martin Scorsese? Which he never has.
Right.
Which is fascinating. That's never happened. And I was like, is that 100% true? And I Googled it, and the AI results said they had worked together, but it was because they both appear in like some doc, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about. We can't even have Google anymore.
That's fast.
But yeah, the fact that they never worked together still.
That's fascinating. What's your thoughts on that? Because this isn't a Scorsese dump session. I like Marty. I like Marty pictures when I watch him. I don't watch him all the time. He's not my style, but that's fascinating to me. Why? I want to hear your letterbox cinephile thoughts on that.
I actually think it's a lot simpler than, because I also went to like all the, could there be a reason? Is it because of schedules? Like, is it because whenever he was shooting something, Steven was shooting? So like, what could it be? And then I realized it might be as simple as something we talk about right here on Anytime, that Scorsese's East Coast and Johnny's not. Like Spielberg, George, and Johnny are LA. Well, George is not LA, but they are California. They're Hollywood. Johnny Williams, right. Frank Marshall, he talks about it in the doc. Like, I knew him when I was a kid, like all that. And Scorsese is New York City, baby. Like, they didn't have history.
I think I'm going to go. I like this theory. I'm going to run with that. Yeah, I don't think it's not that. I bet if you maybe there's a clip that exists. I bet if you asked Martin Scorsese about it, he'd probably, about John Williams, he'd probably like, oh, he's amazing. He's great. I love his stuff. He's great. Yeah. But I think you're right. I think that there's those comic vibes. There's East Coast comics, West Coast comics, and clearly, the rap world, as we know, famously, sure, got it great. But I think you're right. It's the vibe thing, man. It's a vibe. That's fascinating.
And Ben's comment here too is true. Like, he does more needle drops and scores, but he
Yeah,
definitely does have like
sure.
this is what did I watch the other day that made me think of it? The thing that made me think of it was that I rewatched, as all 28-year-old single guys do. I was watching The Age of Innocence,
Mm-hmm.
and The Age of Innocence has the Elmer Bernstein score, and
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful. And there are parts of it where I was like, "This kind of sounds like Williams," and then I was like, "But that can't be," and that's what got me on the thing. But like Killers of the Flower Moon, like
Mm-hmm.
the Last Temptation of Christ, like there are definitely things in his. There are casinos and Goodfellas and all those, but there are the ones Silence,
Yeah.
Hugo, that you're like, whoa, that must be John Williams, especially something like Hugo. And
Hugo,
it
yeah.
never is. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I
And
love
I think
that.
it might be that, like, by the time they were all rolling, the Scorsese,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
De Palma was California too, but like Scorsese and Pacino and all of them, like, it just
Yeah,
might have
yeah, no, I agree
divvied
with that.
up.
And Scorsese's going for his thing, and again, this isn't to bring the Marvel stuff. Like, he's not whimsical as the
Mhm.
others are.
Yeah.
He's East Coast gritty. He's got that. So yeah, I bet he would. Johnny Williams is great, but I'm going
He
for a
would be
different
able to
aesthetic,
tell you,
and I'm
like,
going yeah,
yeah, he'd be able to tell you everything he's ever done,
yeah,
what it influenced, what influenced it. He would know it all. But
yeah.
he is like, when you look at the history of that friend group,
Mm.
Marty is their friend from New York. Like
He's their
he
friend.
he is their
I
friend from New York. He's in the
about
group. It's always
yeah.
the 5 or 6 of them, but
So funny. About a year ago, about a year ago, we were palling around with Giacchino and David Silverman, that whole team, and we went to an exclusive Hollywood place that was, quite frankly,
oh,
boring, that I'd never been. And we were leaving, and an elevator opened up, and we all kind of like a party came out, and we kind of all stopped, and Marty walked by me,
oh,
and he's an Ewok, but like it was out of place. This is Beverly Hills, baby. What are you doing here?
yeah, yeah.
Marty, are you out? Are you out to the coast? Did you come out here? What did you do? Yeah.
There's a funny meme that's like Steven Spielberg's childhood, and it was like, and it was really hard when my parents got divorced, and I had to put that into a fantasy setting, and then it was like Marty's childhood. Bobby got shot, and we all sat by him while he
So
bled
amazing.
out, and we knew we had to grow up. Like,
That's amazing. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. All right. Well,
uh,
from AI to that. See, I love that. We're jumping around today. We're having a good time.
I
I
know.
finished my goddamn apple juice. I'm in an
I
apple
am.
juice kick
I'm
this week.
almost done with my coffee. This is my
Mm.
new mug that my mom got me. This mug says,
Oh yeah.
"Not my
Okay.
fucking problem" on it. She thought I would enjoy that,
That's
and I
that's
do.
that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. So that's I'm a bathrobe wearing full today. I don't have
Indeed,
much on the docket today, and it's nice. You know what I mean? I think
it
I
is
think I'm going to
nice.
try to enjoy that today, and not guilt myself for that.
You should. This is the beginning of the holidays, like we said. Like this is a season where, from your radio career, like it kind of
Hmm.
just this month doesn't even really count. No one counts the ratings of the December book, and like
That's true.
no one really cares. So it's like you need to tap
We,
back into that and give yourself a break.
we would switch into Christmas rock music mode. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
you knew it was you knew what time of I did 4 years of Christmas holiday Christmas radio during that time, and yeah, the first time I would hear one of my favorite all time rock Christmas adjacent songs is 2,000 Miles by the Pretenders, and you
Mm.
know that the moment that was on the playlist, you're like, we reached December,
Oh, for sure.
nothing matters,
Yeah, but
nothing matters.
my first one was on a rock station, and that was whenever like Paul McCartney comes in, and it's like you're like, okay, we're
I
good.
mood is up. Yep.
We're running best of bits.
Simply
And music.
having a
Yeah.
wonderful Christmas time. I wanted to address this comment from Troy, who I love Troy. Hung out with him in Boston a little bit when I was out there with Marcellus. Hardly ever use Twitter, but privated my account a little while back just because it gets rid of the bots. I used to see several attached to every tweet, reply, etc. This is going private. Zero bots, and I think that's. I want to be clear too when I'm saying don't. The reply guys with the account private. I think what Troy's talking about is some good self preservation and clearing your timeline, no matter what you're on. I think that's a good thing. That's okay.
For sure.
Hmm.
Um, Tully Quinn's in the comments. Tully says, blows my mind whenever Alden mentions he's not even 30. He talks like a seasoned old salt. And I just thought that was funny, but it reminded me to pull up Tully's Blue Sky comment at the Anytime account. Tully said, years ago, I made pigs in a blanket to bring to mom's, and she ignored them. Didn't want any. If I did that to anything she made, I'd never hear the end of it. On my own this year, I made pigs in a blanket again. Fucking delicious. Gobble, gobble. Good for you, Tully.
Pigs in a blanket. What is that? That is sausage in a pancake?
It's I don't even know if it's a pancake. It's like,
I'm looking it up.
Is it
I'm going to see what the AI tells me. Well, you can do it. So there is what I would call hot dogs or other sausages individually wrapped in pastry, commonly served as an appetizer. Yeah, so I think what I like about it is it can be a wedding app where it's a hot dog and a pastry, or it can be more of a sausage and a pancake thing, is how I kind of grew up having them. And it's a breakfast thing. And it's a versatile treat.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So Eli saying pigs in a blanket like hot dogs. I think it's open for interpretation. But I think Dan at the Food in My Beard, we should just one day bring, you know what we should do? Maybe Dan, I'll reach on Instagram. We got to bring on Dan for a segment here in Anytime in the holidays of like underrated holiday appetizers or something.
The underrated. Yeah. You need to mix it up for sure.
Yeah. Pigs in a blanket, top tier holiday app. Okay, yeah, sausage and pancake sounds like a nice variation. I don't know if I'm not debating Eli or anyone. I just like that's how I grew up thinking. Pigs in a blanket was are we going to IHOP? And but I also hot dogs wrapped in things. Great app. I'm gonna.
Says, yeah.
If I see the waiter coming out at wedding receptions or at the cocktail hour, I'm cornering them if they got those hot dog things.
For sure. No, yeah. Dave McKay says cocktail sausages wrapped in bacon.
Oh yeah, and he's not from America, so yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, I can cook live. There we go. My goal, look, man, I have a lot of failed things in my past. One of them is when I signed on to do GPA with Josh and Riley and Eric Bass, I was waffling. I'll reveal here the truth. I was waffling. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. And one of the things, we got an office with a kitchen. And I was like, I've always wanted to do a grilled cheese cooking show. I've always wanted to do like my version of the Favreau show, but like, I'm not good at it. Who else is? Unless I have a car. I love that. We can debate Guy Fieri as a human all week. I do love Diners, Dive-Ins, and Drives is on. I'm stopping. I'm watching. I love that stuff. I love it. And I miss the opportunity. So maybe, Dan, we cook something up. All right? Oh, that's a pun.
Let me tell you something about Guy Fieri. I have never personally interacted with him directly, but I have been in the same room with him. And we did do some promotions with him when I was with iHeart. And he opened up, I believe it's Chicken Guys. Is that one of his chains? I know he has several different brands.
Yeah, I only go to the one with the donkey sauce in airports.
I think it's Chicken Guys. I can't remember. But it opened up in a mall down in Miami. And he was coming out for the opening and everything. And I heard that he lit up one of our promotions guys for saying Fieri instead of Fieri. That he was very specific about that and got really mean about it. And I'm like, all right, relax, guy. All right. You are literally the spiky blonde hair guy.
Let's do it. Let's have the guy talk. There are some things, including maybe, I don't even want to say political leanings, but he just seems like the guy who would like go down to Mar-a-Lago because they asked him and he didn't question it. Like he just has that vibe. I do know someone who was one of his producers. Yeah. We're acquaintances. I won't say a friend, but she was did some stand up at Flappers. We kind of connected. We're chatting, and she has a great true crime podcast out now. Her name's Madison McGee, trying to solve the murder of her father. It's a great true crime project she's worked on. She was one of his producers, and she didn't come out with bad things. She just kind of said he's a lot and he's a little weird. Yeah. But Mark Ellison, I love him because we love eating at his restaurant, and I love his shows. And he's done a lot of good things, but that doesn't necessarily erase any bad things. But I come down pro Guy, 85%.
I'm certainly not anti Guy. It just always I think it's funny that like he's so about the image and the brand that he needs it to be pronounced in a fancy way.
Yeah, I know. Look, Dan says I have met him. I was on the guy's grocery games, and he was honestly amazing, really nice, and super supportive of us all. Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
But again, there's always quite frankly, you mention my name in the digital media world, you're going to get like, yeah, and you're going to get, it's just human nature. Who knows? I just hope I'm not much of a monster.
Not even to blow smoke up your ass, not just because we're friends. I can tell you honestly that I have never gotten a negative reaction from a Ken Knapsack drop. Maybe that's because people in my age group like knew you as a broadcaster that we watched. I don't know, but maybe
I'm just talking about
killed all the people that.
No. Look, yeah, I'm off air. I am generally just a good person to have in your office, but also I am grumpy. There are people who were probably frustrated with me at Collider specifically because I was really cantankerous and didn't like what they were having me do, but I took the job, so that's on me. I think, and there's some people in the space that if I don't have time for you, now that the Schmodown's done, I don't need to pretend to have time for you anymore. And so you might find it a little bit more than you used to.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I also think there's a Collider stink on me. I've talked to you about this, where there are certain folks in the Star Wars world, either on the podcast side or the .com side, or where I'm just like, why hasn't that person followed me? I adore their work. I follow them. I've interacted with them. They don't follow me, and I don't care, but I care. And sometimes like I just think I was part of the Collider mediocre white guys team, and one of us ranted about a theme park, so therefore all of us must have. And I just wonder. I'm not even saying that's true. I just wonder.
Yeah. I'm not, of course, not going to get into that. It's been litigated a bunch, but I will say that the other day I wanted to come on this show last week. I wanted to come on here and rant about something where I felt like and I still feel like I got fucked on it. I'll say it now just because it's all out there. But like, I got hit up by an agency that was working with Disney, and I told you this to interview the Skeleton Crew directors on account of the fact that I'm Puerto Rican. And they didn't say that, but they were like, we're trying to reach more Latin, whatever. And I have my thoughts about whether or not they were just looking at my last name to check a box. And because if you listen to my shows, I'm not even bilingual. So it's like, good job on finding the whitest, that's a different thing. Whether or not they did their homework is independent of this.
Good job. You found the whitest shade of brown. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so they arrive at me and they offered me this, and we went back and forth. We talked about dates and like, this, okay, send us this, questions, blah, blah. And we were working on it, and we we're just waiting. And then 2 weeks ago, they were like, we're just waiting on approvals. And then last week, I followed up again, and I'm like, because I started to see people posting coverage. I'm like, hey, when are we locking this down? I've kept myself a little bit open for this, which, is always a pain in the ass. And then they're like, we don't have any opportunity at this time. And that pissed me off because you came to me with the opportunity. And that really pissed me off because now you have doubled. You put me in the box of trying to like, I don't know if tokenize is the right verbiage, but like, you put me in that box to try to so you could feel good.
What's in
and
the
then
box?
You don't have the opportunity, even though you clearly do because you're doing this at this. It really, really made me mad, and I was going to go on a whole rant about it. So that's the background. But then I had all that feeling and was like, I'm going to light these motherfuckers up. And then I was like, wait, none of us can do that anymore. It got ruined for. I was like, no one can rant ever again.
Yeah.
Because the one rant that happened kind of cooked all the rants. So,
and I have an interesting take and insight on that rant, by the way, that like would probably surprise some folks. It was, I understood some. I understood some of it.
Well, we'll talk about it off air.
I understood some of it. I understood. Also, it's someone's mind. It was more of a bit than maybe it was to be taken at. But anyways, that aside, fun stuff. I do a couple of questions I've started, but I Ben Wellington. Ben's great. There was one night at Flappers. Ben was the only paid audience member at one of my shows. And we had a great show for him. We put on a great show. Ben's a sweet dude.
How much? Ben, how much was your ticket? You were the only person that paid. I only stimulated that far.
$2,000. He said Ken's top movies of 2019 bid on Collider was outstanding. You know what? I'm in a good mood. I got a bathroom on. Finished my apple juice. I'll answer. So I'll take limited AMA on some Collider Bexler stuff. Here's what happened. I went to lunch, and they were shooting the top 5 movies of 2017 thing.
Yeah.
And I went to lunch, and they didn't invite me on it. And why would you? I'm very vocal about not watching movies, and
they would have been pro Last Jedi, and they couldn't have that at the time.
No, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true.
I'm just being a shit.
Yeah.
There could have been lots of I haven't seen.
You're being what we called an Alden. No, I'm kidding.
That's true.
Anyways, I come back from lunch, and I got my glasses on. I think my knee numb shirt on, because at the time I still wore a lot of Star Wars shirts, and I'm the production guys love me because I'm friends with the production guys, because I talk to people who others deem beneath them. That's all I'll say. Okay, and you'd be surprised at who I'm thinking of when I mention that. You all would be very surprised at who I'm specifically thinking of, about who thought production people were beneath her. And I walk back, and I just go, let me sit down. And they're like, all right. It's like Adam and Cody and those guys. And I just riff on that the 5 list. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, don't air it. And then they fucking aired it. And it was great. And I love it. I have it in my reel.
I got to go back and watch that. God.
Was Wood Ranch where y'all went to eat, or was that the GPA? No, Wood Ranch. Yeah, Wood Ranch wasn't always. We had some Collider lunches. We would go across up to in Burbank, up to Christopher Nolan's favorite AMC, past the Batman statue. There's was pizza. Schnepp loved going. Rest in peace, Schnepp. There was it's no longer there, but there's a pieology type of spot. And we'd go there. We'd go to Yard House a lot. And then I used to love Yard House. Now I consider it overrated. And then Islands. I would make everyone go to Islands, because Islands is kind of crap, and it's always empty. And I'm always going to go to Maddie Gunner's in chat. Maddie Gunner. We went to lunch not too long ago. He was in Burbank, and we were walking downtown Burbank, and every restaurant is hopping. People are waiting in line, everything. And there's a 1950s diner with no one in it. And I go, you want to go in there? He's like, yeah. I go, I choose the path of least resistance when it comes to food.
I think that's a respectable strategy. There are times where it's like, I really want something, but if they're like, the wait will be about an hour, I'm like, I can't do that. There's just no way. There's just no way.
I get grumpy, man. I don't mind. If I'm at Disneyland, an hour for Pirates, yeah, let's do it. I don't love that, but I don't get paid. Let's do it. But for food, man, no. I told there's a place in Burbank, Porto's. It's pretty kind of well known, famous for its lines. And I'm like, I told Grace yesterday, I'm like, you don't need to wait in line for Porto's. There's an AM/PM across the street. Go there.
And what was Grace's reply to that?
It wasn't good.
She's like, listen, fucker, I want something specific, which I also respect. I know that there are people that are like, I didn't come out to eat something else. I came out to eat that.
Yeah. There you go. Maddie Gunner says our lunch was like the scene from Heat, but cooler. And we were friends, not rivals.
I believe that. I believe Maddie sat down and was like, you and I are like a couple of regular fellows.
It was a fun time. It was because clearly also the restaurant, how do I say that? The restaurant, I think, was a front. It just had all the vibes of what organized crime team are you part of?
That's fascinating. God, I would love to be at a mob diner. I don't want to get whacked, of course, but I would love to see something.
Jared, tell you what, Jared, you're working Black Friday. You can ask. I won't answer anything I don't want to answer. How about that? I don't care. But that's where I'm dominating today because the bathrobe gives me hubris. What's your favorite holiday? What's your favorite holiday?
I hate to be like emo. I'm different, but I really it's very hard for me to choose one because I just don't put a lot of importance on them. I don't want to be a nerd and be like May the 4th, but I don't want to be a super nerd and be like Orthodox Star Wars Day on the 25th. But I mean, I like New Year's Eve. There's a melancholy to it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I always find the end of the year to be challenging, but I'm not a Christmas person. I'm not even a Halloween person that much. I like it. I like going, but I don't like spooky. I don't do I don't decorate,
Same.
I'm not a holiday person. What about you?
I am not either. I think to answer Scotty's question, I might say Christmas. I'm like, yeah, this is why you and I get along despite our generation gap and age difference. We're a problematic relationship, people would say.
I agree.
I'm with you. I like New Year's, but it's really, even in good years, I have a melancholy vibe with it where I'm just kind of like, what will we remember from this year in time? Who did we lose? Like, I'm that dude,
I start
right?
grading myself. Yeah, I start like,
Well, yeah.
I didn't accomplish. I didn't do. I gotta get going this week. I gotta drop 40 pounds. Like,
No, yeah, I like setting goals. I'm good for setting goals for the new year, not resolution, all that stuff. But like, I just get a little sad when I like watching the ball drop to close another chapter on a year in human history. Like, I just get weird in my cups on it. Like I said, even when things are good, even if it's like 1997 and the world's perfect and we don't, I just still have this sadness attached to it. But I like the vibe, especially here in California and the Valley. Like, it starts getting a little colder and darker. I don't enjoy the time change either, but like, I like the vibe that this Burbank puts up lights and it's quaint and it makes you feel like you're in a small town, even though you're not. You're in LA still, but I like the season of the holidays. I don't have a specific one, and then I have a lot of baggage from working the malls and stuff for 17 years, where Thanksgiving and Christmas were the only days I had off, and I didn't want to talk to anyone, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's my answer.
yeah, I feel that. The aesthetics are always very engaging, and I think that, like, this year, I am going to make for the first time an attempt to watch all of my favorite Christmas movies and specials throughout the month of December. I want to make it a thing, marathon it. I'll share my picks if anybody cares. You can message me for them. But I don't feel necessarily like I always feel the pressure of something ending and something starting. And what didn't help? What didn't help is that not everybody, but most American families, I feel, at some point have watched New Year's Rockin' Eve, like, and participated in some way in that. And I came up, my childhood and teen years were during the Dick Clark should probably not be doing this anymore years, and that did not help with the perception of like, oh, something's ending, all right. Like they got this guy, because I was a child, so I'm like, who's this? And I have people telling me like, oh, he's this guy that we all grew up with.
He's the greatest host in the history of the world. Yeah,
he's amazing.
Absolutely.
He's amazing. And I'm like, he's like, because when you're a kid, I think I was one of those kids that was a little afraid of old people. Like, not afraid of them like they were mean, but like,
here you are, you
with like sickness.
You push through to work with me. I appreciate it.
I do. I see. What you don't know is that Anytime with Ken and Alden is just a roundabout way for me to get my like help the elderly badge. This is like up. Like, I'm trying to get my senior's badge.
You don't see Alden off air where he's like, "Do you want your syrup?" And he's giving me like Robitussin and some kind of elixir. Come on, Gramps.
Ken's like, "This is my fiance Grace." I'm like, "Sure she is."
Sure it is. Sure it is. I highlighted this comment. Sorry, I meant to favorite it instead. I highlighted it. But Matty Gunner's not wrong. Me and him almost dropped $10K on a life-size Jar Jar. There's a store in downtown Burbank that opened up that apparently is just some rich family's collection they want to get rid of, and like no one's in it. We had to wait. Like the worker had to take a break, and so Maddie and I had to circle back, and then we went in, and there's a no joke life-size Jar Jar Binks for $10,000, and I'm like, yeah, certainly I can't afford it. If I could, I would. I would have put that thing in my car and driven home 100%. With that.
What is the let's go down that road. Let's say you had, bills are not a factor, debt's not a factor, health's not a factor, anything. You just have 10,000 expendable dollars in your allowance. What are you buying right now?
Oh my God. You know what? At this point in my life, there would have been a point in time where I seriously would have got the Jar Jar just to do it. I think honestly, I'm taking a trip. Yeah. I've turned into, that a-hole from just traveling, doing stand-up, and then getting the opportunity to go to London and Paris. And that was my first trip abroad. And yep, you can make fun of me as a dumb American who didn't travel. You try travel in our country, whatever. But I had such a great time that, I would take a couple trips. Yeah.
I think I would do trips as well. I would get a couple tattoos and take a flight, or maybe tour. Maybe, I don't like trips. Doesn't even need to be international. Like I might just tour the U.S. and visit everybody. Just like all my friends that I have in different states I never see.
Yeah, yes. I travel. Quite frankly take a lingering. I don't think Grace would go with me, but I take a lingering cross country and back trip. because I drove cross country one way twice, and it was fun, but it was a 12-hour day. We got to go thing. I would do it again. Tully says this. I think the guy from Scum and Villainy, Cantina, bought the Jar Jar. I have to get the update on that. That'd be the coolest thing Scum and Villainy ever did.
Yeah, I love the Jar Jar. Jar Jar's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maddie Gunner says, Alden, let me tattoo you, please. I'm going to need to see a portfolio, sir. I'm going to need to see
I wouldn't try. I love
whenever your buddies, whenever your drinking buddies are like, let me tattoo you.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't trust Maddie. I wouldn't trust Maddie to tattoo me because it'd be like a hot paper clip and some blood and some whiskey, and it would be like I don't know. It'd be like give me a lightsaber, and it would have a bend in it because Maddie's hammered. I don't know. I don't trust Maddie.
Yeah, it curves to the left a little bit, which like is valuable representation, I guess, for the left curvers. But it's like, yeah, no, that's a whole thing. Yeah, you end up with a Chinese symbol, and then like it's whatever Maddie ordered last. It's like I can't have it.
We love you, Maddie Gutter. We love you, baby. There you go.
Everybody else, let us know what you would spend $10,000 on right now. This is a participation section of the show.
Yeah,
all parts of the show are participation sections. But
yeah, we're just hanging out today here for a few more moments. I don't know. I'm not rushed.
Jared says, "Give you the Dooku." Can I just say, I mentioned this in a group chat that we're in yesterday. That my favorite Star Wars toy probably ever is the Attack of the Clones Dooku saber. Just like the one that came out just like in regular stores, nothing fancy that you just flip out. That curving the lightsaber for Christopher Lee might be the most baller move they ever made visually for like a prop. Like it's so good. It's so cool. And if you're not down with Attack of the Clones, I'm sorry for you. The other day, somebody who we both know and love, we might call him a Black Series rebel. He came at me and Nikki Kumar with some sideways prequel talk, and we were like, listen, buddy, it's 2024. We will smoke you in these streets, all right? No more.
That's so funny. Laserbolt saying I would spend $10,000 on $20,000. There you go.
Laserbolt.
Flip that. Jed Muro, recovering from a Thanksgiving hangover, I'm sure, says Paul McCartney's bass because $10,000 would be a bargain. Yeah, I agree on that. Indeed.
Love that.
Yeah. That night had some fun stuff too. You know, because you're saying all debt would be gone. You got $10,000 sitting on your desk. You know.
Yeah.
I buy some Converse, some new custom Converse. Sure. I'd go eat at Wood Ranch every day for a week, just like I used to do in the mid 2000s.
Nice. That'd be great. I would get like VIP Dua Lipa tickets for the new tour.
Oh, there you go. 10K worth of lottery tickets to scratch off, says Matty Gunner. I still think you might come. I still think you might come up short there, Matty. I don't think even $10,000 of lottery tickets is going to get you more than $200.
Yeah, like Matty, that's dangerous because it's like
dangerous.
I see what you're getting at, but like imagine the toll that it will take on your mental health when you strike out that many times in a row.
Yeah. New Zealand trip with the wife, says Svetnik. Leave the kids with my parents. That sounds like a great idea. Buck O'Brien, been to Mexico or Ireland, be near family. But which one's the family? Or both? That's an interesting story. I want to hear all that. Michael was, I treat my fiance to her dream Disney trip. You're all sweet. You all think of other people. I guess a trip. Yeah. I guess not thinking of Grace.
But you did preface it with you're not sure if Grace would go. So you're already preparing to go by yourself.
If I was like, hey, I got $10,000 and no debt and choices and let's take a trip.
Yeah.
We'd go back to Paris. We'd go, I think we're going to Spain, you know, all that kind of stuff. But if I was like, you want to get in the car and head out on the 40 and drive across the country, she'd be like, absolutely not. And I get it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. There's no chance in hell, to quote VKM's Entrance Music, there's no chance in hell that I would ever want to do a car trip over a plane trip. I respect it. I get it. It's cool. Yeah. There is a friend of a friend that I follow on Instagram who is like, her whole lifestyle is like her and her dog, and she drives cross country, or she leaves the dog with her family and like takes her bike out and just goes, and she loves it. Fuck no. Put me in a plane. I want to get there in a couple hours.
I love flying. I love airports, mostly because there's Guy Fieri restaurants in there. I'm with you. But recently, Alice and I on some of our trips. This was to San Francisco area twice. We did 2 trips within a month. We drove. It's a 30 to 40-minute flight, but we drove, and it was oddly refreshing because I do like driving. I was the passenger the entire. He loves driving. It's relaxing to me. I always drive to Vegas. I think it's a fun 4-hour ride for me. I got my stops. I got my bathroom. There's a great food court at the outlet center that has a basically private bathroom if you need to use it. I got it all down. But most of the time I'm with you. I want to fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laserbolt just took his long RV trip, so let's go and never stop. Yeah.
RV. Yeah, I can see that. Jared says Star Wars Celebration. I mean, like, yeah, if they keep putting it in fucking far-flung locales, you're going to need that 10K.
Well, look, that's relative, right?
The Star Wars celebration. It is relative, yeah.
There's some people celebrating that it's in Tokyo
that are like,
as they were
it's right
London.
there.
Yeah, Maddie Gutter was like, "Oh, great! I got to walk to Celebration London, and it should be in Anaheim every year, okay? Because I want an hour drive to my convention. But I'm with you in terms of my perspective. Yeah, let's keep it. Orlando's as far as I'll go.
I'm gonna go on the record now. I don't know anything about because sometimes these locations get leaked way in advance. Like I think I knew about
Japan, we knew Tokyo. We knew Tokyo. Yeah.
But I don't know anything about the one after Tokyo, 2027. But I will say, because it is 2027 and it is 50 years of Star Wars, so help me, it better be in California, specifically Northern California would be awesome for 50 years of Star Wars, or London again, where they made it. Don't go. It's got to be Anaheim. Other location.
It's got to be Anaheim for me. That's home base. But
for home base for who though?
London makes sense, but that they got to change. That Excel Center's not great. It's for the people that generally work on it now. It's Disney, but it's also
that's true.
It's just built better for it. I think Orlando was okay, but it's too spread out. If you get hotels and everything, but Anaheim's built for it.
The best building is Chicago. As a convention center, Chicago.
That was a great.
The best.
It was a little hassle to we had hotels that were farther away, blah 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 blah. But I thought as a venue, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
David McKay, Tunisia. I'm in. You know what? I'm in. Jared wants to go to Boston so he can walk to it.
I'm surprised there's never been Star Wars Celebration in New York City. I really am surprised by that.
You'd be at the Javits and it'd be okay. I don't know if it has the big enough arena type of vibe they need, but it wouldn't be as fun. New York Comic Con is okay for me, but I go. You know me. I go to the cons for the hotel lobby bars and the Javits. Once you cross the street, the convention's done.
Yeah,
and you're all spread out at different hotels.
That's true.
Laserbolt says Chicago Celebration. Chicago was the best time I ever had.
The Chicago was the best. The Chicago as an event, I liked it the most. I didn't know as many people. The community as it stands, the community used very loosely these days, is sort of birthed there. And then we had a good 5-year run and we all exploded.
It is I'm fascinated by that. What Alden's mentioning for those who aren't, though I imagine a lot of them in chat were part of this. The Star Wars podcasting pundit YouTube world exploded after 2019. And a lot of that I would attribute to, hey, the technology to do it was easier, the desire to do it. You had channels like Collider, Screen Junkies, name them, had gotten so big, and the zenith had kind of been reached in 2017, but here in 2019. So, hey, it's inspiring. Let's do it. All great. But it just seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like beyond that, Alden, you would tell me more. It just seems like people met finally for the first time face to face, and a lot of things grew out of 2019, which is wonderful.
Yeah. It was. I mean, there was definitely always an online community before, especially in the Disney era, but something about that year, that celebration, more so than 2017 in Orlando, I think the online stuff had gotten to the point where the hey, let's meet up conversation was happening finally. People finally they wanted to break through. That's where you and I met, and I'm sure a lot of people met you for the first time there because you guys did your live show. Yeah, it was a good time. I would love to go back there for any reason. I mean, Chicago is just an incredible city
I love
overall.
Chicago.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
every time I've gone, I've loved it. I have laughed, loved, lived in Chicago. Nikki just went for a wedding and he's ready to leave LA. He goes, we got it wrong. He's like, it's not New York or LA, it's Chicago. This is the place.
It's a good city, man. It's a good city. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't disagree. I understand that. I don't know if I'd move there, but I understand that. I understand that. I don't. The weather might be a little bit much for me, but
That's true. It does get pretty brutal out there. I mean, it's snowing right now.
and hot too. You got the 500 old people killed summers, and then the 300 people freeze winters. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But yeah, no, I love that. I love that about 2019, and to see that. And what I loved about 2022 is I felt a little more connected to that community, if you will, than I did 15, 17, and 19. I don't know how to explain it, Alden, but there was a bit of a divide. You know, it was like I was working those, and I was working 2022, but I was working those in a different capacity.
For sure.
And I think the gap was closed, and 2022 was fun, drinking with all you fucks in a lobby.
That's us, the fucks in a lobby. By the way, you on the latest episode of Force Center talked about fans approaching Richard Bluff in the ILM's Richard Bluff in the bar. That was me.
I know.
I was like, is he telling a story forgetting that he knows?
No, I didn't want to bring you into it. Yeah, no, man. And I saw his wife just like light up, and his kids
she geeked out. She was so sweet. And by the way, she's a visual effects artist too. She works for Marvel Studios, so it's like
I didn't know that.
They're winning. They're winning right now. They're
winning.
Employed, gainfully employed.
Yeah,
top of their industry. Yeah, great people.
Love that stuff. Love that stuff.
Yeah, the Charlie brings up here in the chat an inside reference. The Novotel Rangers. The Novotel Rangers is what we call ourselves. Those of us who partied every night at the Novotel in London.
The Novo Hotel.
Yeah. And so we're gonna get Orabesh patches made.
Yeah.
Like Carson Teva and Hera and all the New Republic pilots. We want to get a patch made for the fact that we all partied hard with our.
It's a good hotel. Yeah, we spent a lot of time there too. You all were there, and we were staying on that yacht, that permanently moored yacht. The battle I had with myself in London is I wanted to see parts of London, and we did on one night. The Scrimshaws and I and Grace all did a stroll around and went to the pubs and all that cool thing. But I have this amazing amount of FOMO takes over me at these kind of events where I just am like, this 700-year-old pub's great, but I need to go to a hotel that was built 10 years ago because people are there. and
I need to go talk about the trailer.
Yeah, or just be around, or just hold court. I love holding court in hotel lobby bars. When I say this is hotels are my Disneyland. Like Airbnbs are ridiculous. Airbnbs are they're also skeevy, and there's always a locked door in an Airbnb that I'm pretty sure there's someone behind there with cameras. I love hotels. I love the lobby bars. And so London, I wanted to see the world. I was there to see the world, but I was like, no, I'm going to sit here with Alden in a hotel lobby bar, and I had a great time.
Another example, for those joining us later in the show, Ken and I are both wearing bathrobes. We did not discuss wearing them before. Another instance of our brains syncing up was that night where you guys did your stroll around. Me and my friends did the stroll around, and we ran into you guys on the sidewalk unplanned.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I saw you on that trip.
Yeah.
I was just like, I wonder what Ken's up to tonight, and turned the corner. There he is.
Yeah. Because we had gotten kind of lost. Well, not lost, but like we got off the stop. The tube was shut down, or the stops are different, and we walked through some challenging areas to get back. Maddie says this, my favorite quote from Ken that weekend. I went on the tube, and everyone looked like they were from a Monty Python sketch. It was awesome, and I stand by that.
Yeah. Oh God, that's what a vibe the whole thing was. But I agree with you about holding court. I enjoy it. I like the revelry. I like feeling like we all just won a battle, even though none of us would ever successfully survive any battle.
You know what I love about it, and all that, because you got your Novotel Rangers. You'll take photos, and that becomes the photo that 100 years from now people will look at and be like, look at them. They didn't know they were going to die. They were all young, and they had a great time.
For sure.
It's I love that you're
From
creating those vibes.
director Peter Jackson comes it's like a documentary about all these nerds.
We didn't know what we were doing at the time. We were just sitting there drinking, but we were creating memories that lasted a lifetime.
It was so funny is that like the way you described that poll of like you want to be a part of it, but also the FOMO is just too strong. Like that, I've tried to explain to people. I'm like the real magic is just sitting around and talking, which you can all do for free. Just go on vacation with each other or something. You don't need the convention. The convention is just one long pregame to the post convention.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, we if you love, I love walking the floor too, but and I love the big panels and they're part of the job and all that good stuff. And I get really, you know, antsy when the press stuff that, you know, when you're not guaranteed to get in, because again, it's work and it's fun. It's not denied, it's fun. But people always like, what's your favorite panel? I was like, I don't know, but I did love those 16 rum and cokes I had in the bar.
100%. I love turning and looking at Ash Crossan and being like, what are you drinking? And she's like, pink gin. And I'm like, I'll take a pink gin, please. That's my favorite Star Wars interaction.
There you go. Love it. These are great. We got a few more minutes here. Any questions? Go ahead and hit us up. Now's your time. Now's your time. And then we'll get on out of here. Any questions,
or because it's the post-Thanksgiving show, any interactions, both funny or uncomfortable, that took place at your Thanksgiving yesterday? Anything you want to share about your dinner?
That was kind of the thumbnail here today, but we didn't quite know what we were going to be talking about. But yeah, hope you all had a good holiday if you were celebrating or had to be around family or wanted to be. Let's also. There's a lot of people who want to, and I think that's a good thing.
I don't understand those people, but I envy them in a certain way, and I
saw I don't know what it was. It was a reel or something, but it was a family. They were shooting something in a kitchen. Oh, you know what it was? It was my goddamn Miami Dolphins losing to the Packers, but they were in a kitchen of a Packer family, right? And it was a holiday party, and you could just tell it's that thing that I don't love, where you're surrounded by 32 family members. You're all eating off white paper plates, and you're talking to a cousin that, you know, this is the only time you're going to talk to him for a year. And I'm just like, that's what I don't like about it. I don't have FOMO for that. That's why I know it's not for me, but it is for other folks.
Yeah, there's something about Thanksgiving to me that has always felt a little bit artificial. Like, and again, not an original observation, but like, and you don't want to be the one that's like, I'm thankful every day. We don't need the whole speech about it. You don't need to go all the way the other way. But there is a little bit of like, when too much ceremony is put on it, even as a kid, it made me uncomfortable. They're like, let's all go around the table. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'm with you on it.
Why? Then dragging it out of somebody makes it lesser. Like, it's just
again, I ain't knocking it if it works for you. My old roommate, his mom would come out, and at the time I adored his mom, but she's full MAGA now and was one of the first people I unfollowed after 2016. Nice. But she was kind of a spiritual kind of person and everything, and it's like, oh great, you're using your spirit to oppress people now. But we'd have friends over, you know, and we'd sit around, and it's just like, she was like, all right, you have to take a shot of some sherry. We had some sherry passed around, and say what you're thankful for. Like, I'm thankful that this is going to end soon, is what I would say. Yeah. If I could.
Yeah. Your family did Thanksgiving? I know you didn't attend, but do they do one? Do they host?
No. Nope. Mom and Dad, we Zoomed for about 20 minutes yesterday. They cooked themselves some food. My mom, about 5-6 years ago, I told this on the blathering, but she called me up and just was like, I've canceled the holidays for the rest of our existence. No need. I'm not doing the big thing. You don't have to come up. Yeah. I don't want you and your sister to, take the time out. Some of it's a little self-loathing and this and that, but like, I was like, cool, great, good.
Yeah. You were like, awesome. Wow, that was a great plan. That's
and I'm not saying, sometimes I'm a little sad about that. Like, for those that it works. Yeah. Not every family sucks, and not every family dynamic is bad, and you know, I don't mind that. I just like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Weight lifted.
I gotcha.
Questions coming in here. If you've got this isn't questions, comment. Thanks, Finns. We were counting on you. Yeah, my Dolphins. absolutely crapped the bed last night because that's what they do in the cold. King Sport Cow says, would meaning me, but I'm going to pitch this question to you too, Alden. Would I ever grow back the ponytail? No, because then I'd look like Shawn Michaels when he started training at the NXT Center. But what I would do if I had the $10,000, I might just do the hair transplant a friend of mine in comedy did. I would the ponytail that you all know me from Screen Junkies. I also had a little bit of that version, but for a while, my hair, I actually had the Daniel Day-Lewis Last Mohicans kind of thing. I had long hair, but also had a separate ponytail from here that went down too. I had like a big thing going on. I would do that for a year. Yeah,
that's badass. I'm so for that. I'm so for that. I had longish hair once when I was 15 going into 16, sophomore year, I guess. And it was like just shaggy, but my hair is, as you can see, is like curly.
You get the curls.
So it got like shaggy, curly hair. And like, I think had I pulled it, it probably would have been like, when Jon Snow came back to life and they had cut off a lot of his hair.
Yes,
like,
there's a little bit of that.
Kind of doing the Ned, but it was curly. Yeah, like I would probably, if I could do that right now, I might give it a shot.
Yeah, I would do that.
But it takes time. You have to go through so many awkward phases.
Oh, when I first grew my hair out right after high school, oh my gosh, I looked a little bit like Paul McCartney in the '70s with that weird mullet and everything, and I didn't know how to properly like cut it up and trim it and get it growing right and everything. So I had a weird thing going. Yeah. I learned a lot since then. I've learned that. Charlie says this, and I don't know. Although we got about 10 minutes left. I don't want to keep you the entire day, and I got to go. I actually didn't eat breakfast. I was so full from food yesterday, I didn't eat breakfast. But if you got a question and everything, please now comment. This is it. Charlie Ashby says, next Thanksgiving, just come over here and have a drink with me and Maddie. Here, I don't want to go over across the pond for Thanksgiving, all that. I do want to experience a British Christmas and wear the little crowns and celebrate Boxing Day. I do want to do that once.
I would like to do that. I would like to do that. I think the aesthetic is probably really lovely. I mean, Charlie Ashby himself did tell me that the Christmas market is a bit of a tourist trap. So he's already kind of undermining some of the magic. But it's like, I want to go over there and be like, Happy Christmas, Ken. And then you're like, Happy Christmas, Alden. And like, I want to go around with our fucking sweaters.
And again, I don't know. I don't even know. As much as I love studying history, I don't understand the paper crowns yet. I'm going to look that up probably tonight. But I just want to, I want to sit around and be like, oh yes. You and I can do our bad accents and get kicked out of houses or out of the flats. Let's do it. Charlie, next year we'll see you.
And Charlie, Charlie, you live like an hour. Charlie's like an hour away from the city proper. Like head out there. And Charlie also has, I don't know if you knew this, Ken. Charlie has 3 younger brothers. He's one of 5 total. Charlie also has a sister. So it's so you got like the kids running around. Oh yeah,
it's a big thing.
Calling each other the C word. Like it's probably fantastic.
Happy Christmas, you fucking cunt. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I want it so bad. And then Maddie can start working on a Christmas song, and by this time next year he'll have it ready to go, fully produced.
So this is Christmas. And what have you done? SNE says, any Black Friday shopping? I don't and never have because I work Black Friday. This year, not doing any Amazon. I'm gonna support the strike as it's going this weekend. But I don't mind a good Black Friday sale. I'm not against it. I just it's so unfortunately SNE. Great question. But no, I didn't.
You? Lightly considered it. I looked at very like specific stores. Like, are you doing something? Are you doing something? Like Barnes and Noble. If you buy a Criterion DVD from Barnes and Noble, I think it's half off right now. But it's like I'm trying to like be more responsible, which I say every year.
Yeah, I mean I have to.
I say every week. Every week I say I'm trying to be more responsible.
Yeah,
it's frustrating. I'm just looking at people's comments here. Lives here. Liv, I wanted to bring this up. The vibe of American Thanksgiving is so different than Canadian Thanksgiving, or at least in my experience, laugh my ass off. Liv, can you explain
I'd like to,
why the vibes are different?
Yeah. I believe it. I accept it on faith, but look, I am how do I explain? I'm not cynical at the holiday for what it is. Yes, there's a history to it. Yes, we study it. Yes, it's part of our complicated tapestry of our country's history. But I'm not saying blah, blah, blah to diminish that. But you know what I mean? Like, I think there could be a little bit of vibe of like, yes, however, this is also meaningful in other ways, and just sit with your family or by yourself or do it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be clear about that. But like, yeah, I'm curious in Canada what the difference is.
Kingsport Cow with an important question here. Alden, is it called stuffing or dressing? Kingsport Cow, it's called stuffing. I had not encountered a dressing person until I was already a grown-ass man. And I was just fascinated by that. And there are word differences all around. Sure. Like I have a friend from Vancouver, and she once referred to her sofa/couch, 2 words that we use, as a Chesterfield. And that blew my mind. So like there are some that come out of nowhere. Dressing was one of those where I was like, what? Dressing?
It is.
Dressing is this. It dresses.
Yeah. No, it's stuff. And to me, and look, it's like I'm so tired of the pineapple on pizza fight because I love it on pizza. Leave me alone. But it's kind of like the Die Hard Christmas thing where I'm like, I'm done having these kind of conversations. But I am fascinated by this. Again, this is how big America is, and we are 50 different countries in a lot of way. The Coke, soda, pop conversation is fascinating, and to me, it's soda. What are you talking about? And I'm not from Ohio. I don't say pop. Like, what the hell is pop? It's not 1950 anymore. But that's how you're raised. It's regional. So stuffing, dressing might be regional, but it's stuffing over here in the West for me.
Yeah, stuffing down here for sure. There's no Puerto Rican version that's different either to my knowledge. I also always say soda. I always call a pizza. I've never called it a pie.
Well, I mean, I say that almost jokingly, kind of like when I'm doing my Spielberg talking about, Bob De Niro pictures.
Bob De Niro.
The Martin Scorsese versus Marty thing is, I love that. Yeah. We were shooting around with Marty one day, and Georgie Lucas was in here, and Stevie Spielberg. I love that stuff.
One of my favorite versions of that is Johnny Williams saying calling JJ Abrams JJ Baby. JJ Baby.
Well, yeah, even George saying, well, Johnny's the key. Like, that's probably what they call him. Lady Kira does answer. There's way less importance. It's just kind of another day. It is on a Monday instead of a Thursday, so it's all just kind of meh. Yeah, the meh works.
Monday does not help. Monday definitely, because the Thursday here, I don't feel passionately about it being Thursday, but one of the benefits I can see is that it bleeds into the weekend, especially as you're like full of food, tired, Monday would fuck up everything. Then you got to be alert.
Well, because you have to go back. Like, I know a lot of people, you worked, and some people are working right now, not just even just the Black Friday of it all, but sometimes you just get back to the office. Monday, you're guaranteed to have to go back Tuesday. At least for Thursday, there's a chance you got the weekend off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, see, by the way, Troy is so right. Fruit doesn't belong on pizza. Meanwhile, people who know tomato biology. Yeah.
That's true. That's a factual win.
Yeah.
Charlie says we call soda fizzy drinks as a summary term, but 99% of the time we refer to it as the brands. Man, it's so hard to take that seriously, man.
You're not helping Alden and I when we're not. Would you like a fizzy drink, Alden? We have a little fizzy drink with a roasted duck there. Ooh.
Charlie opens the door to his house, and it's "Come with me, and you'll see." Fizzy drink is legit. What got them kicked out?
Yeah,
that was the final straw.
See, David and Maddie and Charlie are trying to, we're trying to maintain our friendships. Then Charlie has to say, "Oh, we called it fizzy drinks then. We'd like a little cherry black currant fizzy drink there. Lift you up there with your upper crust sandwich."
You're like
then
somewhere between Lennon and McCartney. There's a little bit of both in there.
Yoko and I are doing this for peace. Oh, Linda and I are doing this for fun.
Oh, S&E wants to know what our favorite.
I'd be quite prepared for that eventuality. Yeah. Favorite 2000s Christmas movie? I said this on the Blathering this week. There's 2,000 think pieces on it. I totally get it. I do like Love Actually. You can have all the conversations you want about the movie. I like it. So
Love Actually is
so
good. It's on my list. Yeah, I'm gonna see. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm about to do something really nerdy. I'm gonna go to my list and I'm gonna sort it by release dates.
Holden, you're gonna go to your fizzy drinking lift, or you're gonna go do that then? We call them lifts over here.
Yeah, The Holiday for sure is in there. The Chronicles of Narnia.
Charlie Ashby hates me, and you can't tell me he doesn't.
He's seething right now, no doubt.
All right, I got a list up too. All right, so what do you got?
I got The Holiday. I got Narnia. Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart.
Reynolds, underrated. I like that. I like that film.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, and it's a Shane Black Christmas. It is a Shane Black Christmas movie. I love that. It's one of my favorite films. So yeah, I'll put that in there.
And I would. You already said Love Actually. I would also last shout, if we're talking 2000s, to Ron Howard's The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Okay. I know a lot of people might answer Elf. I didn't really ever watch it in start to finish, but I like the players involved. Here's the Serendipity. That counts. That's in the list here I'm looking at. And I love Serendipity. I absolutely adore that film and the soundtrack and the Nick Drake songs in it. So I'll count that. Okay. Yeah.
That for sure counts. Absolutely. Yeah, that's just for 2000. I got plenty before the 2000s and plenty after the 2000s, but for that question specifically.
Oh, see, this list I'm looking at has 2000s Christmas thrillers, so Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Reindeer Games. I don't have a dog in that fight, but your options just increased.
The Reindeer Games, yeah, that does count. I mean, there's a lot of. I think I have like 30 things in mind, so I could really do like one a day. For this month.
Maddie, you're only encouraging me. What is that accent?
Yeah, like British accents, like again, like we had so much fun doing them last week. We texted about it. That's how like
don't get me started.
Which is just like it's the beautiful range because it's like you could be like Austin Powers, but like you could also like growing up in like the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings at the same time generation. Like there's like all those voices of like specific actors, but like it's the best.
And I'm horrible with them. I don't understand the regions. Everything comes into, like I said, it's a Lennon McCartney or a Monty Python sketch, and I love it. I'll save you all from doing it.
After Game of Thrones season 6, when you finally get the Tower of Joy flashback with Robert Aramayo as young Ned, when he's like, and Sir Arthur Dane's like, and now it begins, and Ned's like, no, now it ends. That voice, I've been doing that ever since. And then when he gets to Liana, and he's like, "Get us some water."
Get us some water. No, we put on little hats. We have fizzy drinks. That's how it ends.
Welcome to Christmas.
All right. This has devolved into hilarity, and I think it's great. We'll be back to the grind next week, Alden, as we start to wrap up, unless there's any questions I'm missing here. People want you to post the list. SNE wants you to post the list.
Oh, I will. I'll post the
list. Maddie says it's going to be part of my citizenship test to do an American accent because I can only do Texan and Valley. Hey, yeah, trust me, that's... Charlie says my impression went in Irish. Yeah, I go Scottish, Irish... Manchester, Liverpudlian, I go all the face are represented in my accent. It's all over the place. Oh, man. I used to work with a guy from Glasgow. And he'd always tell me about the patrol, and he used to be part of the Scotland Yard. He'd patrol the Firth of Forth, walking up the Firth of Forth. But anyways,
the fact that their police headquarters is called Scotland Yard will make them cooler than like any government building we have. It's so cool.
Yeah. He was fascinating, and then he transferred to South Africa, and then the stories aren't as fascinating. They're troubling.
Oh, see, but it's always okay to make fun of these people for those reasons.
He knew Nelson Mandela, is all I'll say. It was the thing. He's like, I've spoken to him several times in prison. Yeah. Anyways, big switch.
Wonderful.
Let's go back to the
wonderful.
Let's go back to the fizzy drinks in the house. It's a dead parrot. It's a dead parrot.
I always liked that Nelson Mandela fellow. I would invite him to Christmas. I would invite Charlie Ashby to Christmas.
We turn the sound down and say rude things. All right. We're just two men in bathrobes alienating 30% of our audience.
Look, man.
Poles broken a glass, Poles broken a glass. He broke today.
Making fun of British people is an anti-colonial act. In this essay, I will. You are decolonizing the internet every time that you make fun of them.
Sugar plum fairy. Yeah. Okay. All right. I gotta go.
Before we go, can I make a request? I don't know if like Jared is still here or Jen Muro or anybody else who has Italian.
After the accents, I think they all left.
If anyone is still here with any connection to Italy, invite me to your Seven Fishes Christmas. I want to do an Italian dinner of the Seven Fishes or Feast of the Seven Fishes.
I don't think Miro's done that. She does an Equinox thing.
Because after it was in The Bear, I know you haven't seen The Bear, but the hour and a half long insane episode that they did in season 2 with Bob Odenkirk and Jamie Lee Curtis and Sarah Paulson is about the Italian Seven Fishes Christmas.
Okay.
And I really want to do that.
That's fascinating to me. I'll ask. All right. We did it. We did the thing. We hung out. We had fun. I have indigestion going. I'm going to go make some breakfast at lunch for me because that's what. Where the hell is my music cues? Where's my music? Oh, there it is, Alden. I'm glad we did this, Alden. I think I needed just to make fun of Matty Gunner. It was a good day.
Gotta humble him.
Yeah. Bathrobes are on. We'll see you next time here on ANYTIME. Ken and Alden. Bye.